Not having a perfect deliverability is costing businesses massive revenue. Every cold email you send to spam is a potential customer you'll miss. Hi, I'm Damien, CEO of MailReach, a solution specialized in deliverability. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to achieve a perfect cold email deliverability and get open rates higher than 60, 70, even 80% plus, which will directly impact your growth. All the tips that I'm about to tell you come from one, our experience in sending millions of cold emails and raising more than 55 million for companies with cold emails, and two, all the data we have at MailReach, which give us plenty of useful information on how to optimize cold email deliverability. So no bullshit advice here. Okay, let's dive in. So the first thing is to choose the right sending domains. Okay, so as you may already know, you need to send your cold emails from secondary domains to protect the sender reputation of your official domain. Okay, but when buying new domains, you need to be careful and avoid including some bad elements that can make you start with a handicap. So you need to avoid hyphens, numbers in the domain, and avoid any exotic domain extensions such as .website, .tech, .us, stuff like this. Anything that is not familiar, you need to avoid that. Instead, choose a .com, .co, .io. Okay? And if you need to buy multiple domains, you just have to put a word before or after your brand name, like try MailReach, get MailReach, etc. You get the idea. So the second tip is to send your cold emails from multiple domains, right? So that follows the previous one. Your sender reputation is based a lot on your domain. So putting all your sending addresses on the same domain is putting all your eggs in the same basket. So if one address starts having spam problems, it will spread on all the other addresses of the same domain. So the more domains you send your cold emails from, the safer and better for your deliverability. That minimizes the number of emails sent per domain, and that minimizes your risk of spam. Okay, so a domain costs $15, guys. So please spend this money to have more peace of mind and minimize the risk of missing revenue because of spam. Okay. The third tip, which is an absolute game changer, is to send your cold emails from Google Workspace or Office 365 mailboxes. Okay, this one is crucial. You can follow all the other best practices. If you don't follow this one, your deliverability won't be optimal. Okay, so the two major professional mailboxes providers are Google Workspace and Office 365. They own most of the mailbox market. Okay, and who better than a Google Workspace or Office 365 mailbox to enter the home of another Google Workspace or Office 365 mailbox? Nobody. Okay, so and these two don't like exotic setup. So the worst setup to land in inbox is to send from a custom SMTP, custom mail server. That's the worst thing to do. Don't do that. Okay, so the next main tip, which is a classic, is to set up your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC properly. So I won't go too much into details. I think that's familiar to you. Set these up properly, and you can use MailReach free spam tests to verify if they are valid or not. The next tip, which is an absolute game changer, is to use a really efficient email warming solution. Today, to land in inbox, you need to have a great sender reputation, and this sender reputation is based on the engagement you receive on your emails. So the more positive interactions on your emails, such as openings, replies, positive replies, etc., the higher will be your sender reputation. Email warm-up or email warming helps you build a positive sender reputation and maintain it over time by constantly generating positive interactions on your activity. Okay, so we've released a dedicated video on email warm-up. Make sure to check it out. And MailReach is specialized in maximizing your sender reputation with a super efficient email warming solution. Make sure to check it out. So the next tip, which is crucial for your deliverability, is to set up a custom tracking domain in your cold email software. That's mandatory, guys. If you don't, that means your cold emails will include the same tracking domain as all the other users of your sending tool, and that multiplies your risk of spam. Okay, so do that. The next one, which is an absolute game changer as well, is to send maximum 100 cold emails per day per email address. Okay, and that's if you send emails from Google Workspace or Office 365. If you use another providers, which will bring you lower results, you will even need to send fewer than 100 and sometimes even like 50 or fewer than 50. If you send more than 100, your risk of harming your reputation and landing in spam is multiplied. That's simple. So the next tip is to get the emails of your recipients from LinkedIn. So I'm not saying you should find your emails directly on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn should be your main contact source. So there are plenty of tools out there who helps you find emails from LinkedIn. I will put some recommendation in the description of this video, but any other contact source will produce lower results. The worst thing to do is to buy email lists or to scrape the web because that's the best way to send emails to spam traps, which can put you in some bad blacklists, and you don't want that. The next tip is to always verify your email list and control the proportion of catch-all emails. Let me explain. First, you need to always use an email verifier to remove the invalid addresses from your campaigns. Most email verifiers classify your emails in 3 categories. So there's the valid, invalid, and risky or catch-all. For the catch-all ones, you don't know if they are valid or not. So a significant proportion of this will bounce, and it's around 23%, okay? The worst thing to do is to start sending your campaigns only to the valid addresses first, and when you run out of valid addresses, you switch to the catch-all and you go all in on the catch-all emails. That's the best way to have a high bounce rate and harm your sender reputation. The best strategy is to control the part of catch-all email addresses in your campaigns. To do that, when you prepare your email list, you include 20% of your list as catch-all emails. That way you control your bounce rate and minimize your risk of harming your sender reputation. The next tip is to clean your email list with attention. So first, remove generic and role-based email addresses. And second, make sure to fix all the typos in your list, because typos like first name and last name inversions or having the wrong company names with emojis and all that, they can lead to spam complaints, and spam complaints are super harmful for your sender reputation. So make sure your list is clean. The next tip is to send your cold emails throughout the day and throughout the week. And you want to avoid big blasts, sending all your cold emails at once. That's the best way to burn your sender reputation and deliverability, okay? So you want to act like a normal human being who would send prospecting emails during his workday and during the week. The next tip is to send maximum 2 follow-ups with 3 days minimum between each email. That's simple to understand. The more follow-ups you send, the more spam complaints you get, and the more damage you do on your sender reputation. Okay? I know we always hear you need to do a lot of follow-ups before closing a deal, etc., etc. But if sending more follow-ups makes you land more in spam, then you will not close more deals. You will miss more revenue and growth. Okay? Next one is to minimize your number of links and images. So links are one of the top causes of content-related spam. You can destroy your deliverability just because of one link in your emails. That's awful, and we see that every day at MailReach. So minimize the number of links, minimize your number of images, and make sure to test your emails with MailReach free spam tester, for instance, before going live with your campaigns. The next one is to never send cold emails with attachments. Attachments are used for phishing and hacking, and that's one of the top deliverability killers, so avoid that. The next tip is to be super careful with the words and punctuation you use in your email templates. So obviously some words and expressions can put you in spam, especially if you're in the industries of money making, health, nutrition, games, sex, and all that, obviously. But sometimes even some words you wouldn't suspect can put you in spam. And for punctuation, you need to avoid putting like exclamation marks in your subject line, in your content, avoid using red color, etc., etc. And you will need to test your deliverability to make sure you don't have any spammy element, okay? The next tip is to always include an easy to spot working unsubscribe link in all your emails. That's simple as well. When you send email campaigns without a working easy to spot and subscribe link, your spam complaint rate will skyrocket, so it will destroy your sender reputation in no time. And no, saying reply and subscribe to my email doesn't count. That's the best way to land in spam in no time as well. So don't do that. Put a link, period. The last piece of advice I can give you is to always run inbox placement tests before and during your campaigns. You can have a perfect sender reputation thanks to email warming and still land in spam because of something in your content, like one link, for instance. So you need both email warming and inbox placement tests to make sure you always have a perfect deliverability and you're not missing revenue, okay? For that, you can use MailReach free email spam tests. It's available on our website, and that will tell you exactly where your email lands on 30 plus mailboxes. So that's it, guys, for all the tips to achieve a perfect deliverability today. I told you everything I know. Now I can only recommend you to consider using MailReach for email warming and spam testing. That will make sure you have the best sender reputation on earth and make sure your cold emails always land in inbox. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we are going to release super useful, no bullshit content on how to have the best results for your cold email campaigns. So make sure to subscribe. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.